got all the right equipment because I'm like, if we're doing this, we're doing this right.
I love it.
All right, girl. So 6-month check-in.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to do the opener.
Okay.
And we'll just get started. Okay. Well, I'm going to clap. I love seeing it. Okay. Welcome back, OSLP family. This one is different for 2 reasons. One, it's a Bariatric diary. Yes, and we have Stephanie with us. And it's not really with us because I am lonesome today.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
Not alone.
Not alone.
I'm here.
Yes, you
But
definitely help out.
Message to Kellie, we miss you.
Yes, we miss you and we love you, Kellie. Get better. We're seeing all the good vibes.
Yes.
So even though I know this is going to totally air way later and you're going to be totally fine, but we are doing
She'll be
this
like,
shit.
oh, I felt those vibes.
Right? She felt them. All right. So this is going to be Stephanie's 6-month check-in, guys. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but you better be because the first 2 ones, I feel like now after actually doing these for so long that we should just do a 3-month because that 1 month to 3 months seems...
It's a ways.
Right?
Wait, didn't we do a 3-month?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like those kind of merge or they're too overlapping? What do you think?
No, I feel like a lot's changed since 3 months, but
Okay.
not just weight loss surgery related. Well, it's all related, let's be honest. But like everything in my life has changed in the last year. So I feel like
you got some stories to tell us. I'm excited. I'm gonna pull this a little closer.
Oh, sorry, I'm so bad at
to your face. There you go. That's okay. Yeah.
That was me pretending to lick the mic to make Mel feel uncomfortable. I'm a freak.
No. You'd be surprised who I hang out with. Nothing's going to make me feel uncomfortable. Why is it? Hold on. Why is it doing that? I don't care. We're just going to keep moving. And sorry, guys, that are listening. We got a little sketchiness on my computer, but it looks good. You can see us. It's recording. We should be fine.
Sounds good.
Back to the show. So, Steph, you're 6 months.
Yes.
How does it feel?
I'm exactly 6 months
I
today,
know.
down to the day.
Yeah.
It feels really good. You know, I think I've been beating myself up a little bit lately for having like not lost enough. This is so dumb, but I'm a numbers person. I know you can relate to this, Mel.
Yep.
And I had in my mind's eye that I wanted to lose about 10 pounds a month. And that's what success would look like for me is just on average, not like a consistent 10 pounds every month because I know it's going to be more in the beginning and go down from there. But I just wanted to, at least through the first 6, be able to average that.
Yeah.
And I'm, this is so dumb, but I'm down, oh shoot, what is it? Like since surgery, 53 pounds, not 60.
So to date, as of today, 6 months, you're 53 pounds down.
Yeah, from surgery. I'm down 78 total because I lost the 25 before surgery.
That's a lot.
But yeah, and I think because I lost 25 pounds a head, I'm not going to lose as much as fast. Right after surgery.
Absolutely.
And so I'm giving myself a little bit of grace there. But yeah, I've been losing a lot slower lately. And I tend to turn in on myself whenever that happens.
I can hear it in your voice.
I'm like, what have I done?
No, girl, that's like 53 pounds is a lot. Is a lot.
And I think that's why, like today, like I've been beating myself up lately, but today I did my before and after pictures for 6 months. I did my measurements. I posted all of that stuff. And I was like, I had this moment of, holy crap.
Oh, good.
I have come so far.
Yeah.
And my body is just starting to get to a place where it feels more comfortable. Yep. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
So I need to let go of the numbers.
Yes, let go of the numbers. It's hard, though. I know from the numbers girl over here, like it's really hard because you want to do the average. You want to be like, okay, because I
want the clean, like the milestones are like 100 pounds lost, or you know, those milestones are all round. They're all round numbers, and so when the round numbers aren't working out,
you're like, what the hell? Are you trying to lose a total of 100?
No, I was like,
because you're pretty small, girlfriend.
Well, I think I have about like 30 more pounds to lose.
Okay.
So I am trying to, all said, my hope is to have lost like 110, 120 pounds total.
And is that going to be total from when you started?
From the very beginning.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I don't know if you, now that you couldn't get there, is it realistic mentally?
Well, and would I be happy? Right. Like I'm never going to be that person that only eats chicken and vegetables. That's just not who I want to be. And so like, I'm okay being a little softer.
Yeah, no, I think it's worth it.
I love.
Well, and just not even foods you love, it's just enjoying the time. Like you're like when you're with your family, like enjoying those meals with them. And like, you can still eat those meals. It just got to be just smaller. Just a little bit smaller and just a little more mindfulness, like actually having it be special. So I think pre-surgery, those foods lost their specialness because I just had that kind of stuff whenever I wanted. And now it's interesting. I'm reading Food Junkies right now for book club. And it's all about food addiction and abstinence against trigger foods, which I can feel myself resisting it so hard because I'm like, I don't want to never have certain foods again. Right. Like I don't want that for myself. Maybe that's my addiction talking. I think it is because I feel the same way. It's like I shouldn't have to like not ever have the chocolate chip ice cream from Baskin Robbins I want.
Yes.
Like, I'm very particular of what it is. Yeah. But I don't ever want it to be like, you can never have that, Melanie. That's
and
not cool.
And I also like, I don't want food to always be a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it always will be. We're bariatric patients. It's always going to be.
Yeah.
But I feel like food has always been such a thing. And part of, not to freak anybody out, but part of my hope, I think, with bariatric surgery was that like food won't be like this demon to me anymore.
I don't know. Yeah. I was going to say, I found out that the hard way the very first year.
Yeah.
It's like,
it is.
Be a
thing,
this is a
right?
thing.
Like, I always feel better if I weigh my food. And that feels like, I think I'd always had so ingrained into me, like anti-diet culture, feeling like that's disordered behavior.
Right.
Weighing your food is just so extreme.
Yeah.
And I'm having to like reprogram myself in that like, no, this is just your way of making sure that you don't feel crappy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Like I have to change the mindset of like, okay, this is me weighing my food out, which I need to get back to doing. Because I remember doing that and I felt a lot better throughout the day. And I think it's because I knew and the number in my head was like, oh, I've already done all that. Like that's done. And I've totally pulled back from that. But I had the same thing in my head, like, oh my God, I'm weighing my food. That means I have a problem.
Yeah.
And so if I do it, then I have a problem. Then I have to admit that I have a problem. But it's like, no, like actually, if I just do this, I feel healthier later.
Yeah. And healthier mentally too. Yeah. Not just the physical, but it's like, I don't know if everybody can relate to this, but I feel stressed if I don't know generally the number in my bank account. Right? Like, if I don't know if I have $1,000 or $6,000 or $2 in my bank account, it's nagging at me. And I think I was so resistant to tracking my food. And anybody who's been following me for a minute knows I'm so resistant to tracking my food.
Yep.
But I've started doing it in the last couple of weeks, and I feel the sense of relief of like, I know what's in my food bank account.
Right. Yeah, it's like a weird lift.
Yeah.
It's like an anxiety just goes away about it because now it's in your head, you know it.
And I think I've learned like the reason I was so resistant is because like I didn't want to have to like do the mental gymnastics around if I do eat out or if I'm over at a friend's house and I don't want to weigh the food or things like that. And I've come to accept like there are just some days where I'm not going to track. If I'm tracking like 5 out of 7 days, that's fine.
I was going to say, it doesn't have to be, hey, if you're not doing it every meal, every single day, then don't do it at all. Like, you got to get in the routines of like, oh, I can do it 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm trying to learn, like trying to get myself back into working out is the same thing. It's like, you don't have to do what you were doing prior.
Yeah.
Right? Like at the first day, like you still have to just ease back in.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same thing with weighing my food, which... Yeah, I have a weigher. I still have it. I don't know why. I don't know why I stopped using it too.
I don't use it for everything, but specifically like tuna or chicken, like that. If I eat too much, it's going to make me feel crappy. Or I I did a post on this. I don't think we introduced me at the top, by the way.
We might not have. Oh my God.
One hungry mother. I just did a post on this yesterday, although this will air later, on my popcorn. So this like lightly sweetened popcorn that I get is so addictive. And I could sit down and eat a whole bag of that. It's a slider food for me.
Yeah.
And so before I even put it in the pantry, I opened that bag and I separated out into some Ziplocs.
Smart.
Because that weighing is not going to happen in my snack frenzy moment when I'm like, oh, I just want to shove some popcorn in my face.
Yep.
There is a 0% chance I'm weighing it at that point. So it's got to happen when I like first get it home from the grocery store.
Smart. Because like I've noticed when I come from the grocery store, if you just separate all the foods, like what you need to do, that whole week is so much easier.
Oh my God. So much easier.
It's kind of dumb, but it's like, no, it needs to just happen. Just do it.
Yeah.
And it does take time. So it's not like it's super easy because like then everybody would do it. But it's like, no, it does take about 30 minutes to an hour to get it all done. But I think that's well worth your week feeling better than being shitty.
Yeah. And you're spending the time either way, right? You're either spending it in one chunk or you're spending it in like 7-10-minute chunks of trying to like,
and it might take longer.
Trying to plate it later.
Yeah.
And so I think if you think about it in like the time is better spent right now than it is in the 10 minutes I have between meetings, then.
Yes. Yeah, because I'd rather enjoy the food in the 10-minute in between the 2-minute meeting than me making it and then trying to eat it while I'm in the next meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what happens. Like that's 100% is. Well, because like, is that like a new thing for you from going from 3 months to 6 months, is like making sure you weigh everything?
Oh, yeah. It's a new thing with tracking. Like I can't put a number in if I don't know the number.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a numbers person.
Yep.
So weighing it makes it a lot easier. And Eric and I, since 3 months, I've put us on a very strict financial diet as well. And so being home more and like planning our grocery list and stuff for those reasons is helping. Money. It's funny how the two things go so hand in hand because I'm planning meals and then grocery shopping instead of the like, can we DoorDash tonight?
Right.
It's making my health easier too. And because I already know what I'm eating throughout the day, I'm not spending that time on, decision making. And I'm instead spending that time like working out or going for a walk with the kids and things like that.
It does alleviate time. And I don't know, it sounds like you're a girl like that likes her time.
Oh.
Right?
It's my most precious resource.
Okay. Yeah, because doing started in this podcast, I realized how like important time is now. And I'm like, oh shit, like I have to deviate all my time. And if I can save it at the upfront, guys, when it comes to like doing the prepping for your food, I say 100% do it because you're saving so much on the back end.
Yeah.
Like if you're a time person that loves their time, do all the stuff on the front end, you'll save hours on the back end. So 100%.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest part for people is sitting down to think through what you're going to make for the week. Like
they think that's the hard part. Like
that's the hard part for me too. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's it going to be? But if you think it's hard, then try coming up with it 7 times over throughout the week.
Right.
Or 14 or however many meals we eat. I don't know.
Well, and not just that, the fact of like now you're going to be on DoorDash or on someone's meal like screen looking for other things. So that's like you're taking up so much time just finding what you want in that moment than it could have been if you planned it on Saturday, Sunday, whatever day you pick.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I love time savings.
Yes. Yes. We are like one and the same when it comes with that. And I was like, don't you waste my time.
100%.
Yeah.
I always feel a little bit like if I have to call customer service, I'm like, this company owes me money now because time is money.
Time is money. You are not wrong. You're not wrong. What else have you noticed since 3 to 6 that you've been changing?
I think that's the biggest one, the tracking. Because last time we talked, I was in a pretty long stall. And then once I started tracking, I realized I was below my protein goals. I thought like my mental calculations were just off. Or they're probably on for certain days, but then I was making assumptions. So the tracking has been number one. I've also, as of this recording, I am a week and a half into entrepreneurship and self-employment.
Oh.
So I left my full-time job as a marketing director and I'm doing the Bariatric Retreat and Bariatric Book Club full-time now.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. And my whole day is different and I feel so productive and I wake up like ready to launch out of bed and like work on this stuff. So
good.
So like I feel like I don't know. I feel like last time I was in here, I was like kind of sludging through.
Right.
I knew I was busy. Towards the end of kind of that chapter with that company, and great company, but it just wasn't making me happy anymore. Yeah. And so I think
you want to work for yourself.
Finally making that transition, it just feels like it's very similar to post-op with VSG, where I went back and forth in my mind. And even though it was only like maybe 3% of me that was considering not doing it,
it's 3%.
It's still exhausting, wondering if you're making the right decision. But then once it's done, it's done.
It's done.
And you don't have to think about it anymore. Yep. If nothing else, like if you don't lose a pound, at least you don't have to think about whether you're getting surgery or not.
Like it's done. It's over with. You wake up. I remember waking up being like, oh, I just fucking really did this.
Yeah.
Like it like hit my head. I'm like, oh, this really happened. Like this is not like just a talk anymore. This is not just me in the room anymore.
It really doesn't matter what anybody thinks about this anymore because it's already done.
Yep. We cannot turn back the time on this one. So
and that's how I'm feeling about going out on my own. Like, so you know, I made a great salary. I had a great team. It just wasn't fulfilling for me anymore. And obviously the bariatric book club and retreat very much are.
Yeah,
and so
they're your passion.
But like from a financial perspective, and you know I'm a numbers person, I was like, this is a terrible idea. But I did it. And now I don't know, the weight of not having that like mental back and forth, I feel so much lighter and like just happier.
I can't wait to feel that one day. It will happen. It will happen. It's happening.
Yeah.
Because this podcast is going to be the one that launches it all. So,
yes.
Yeah. Because like that's like literally is my dream, is to be able to just work for yourself, do exactly what you want to do all day long.
Yeah.
Like
the tasks that you think are the most important to get done are the ones that get done.
Yeah. And that's like so much easier. And I can get a lot of shit done. So
yeah. Well, it's not even that I'm like working less even, right?
No,
if anything, I'm probably working more because I'm just so like in the zone with this stuff now that we're only like a few months out from retreat. So like
so those that don't know, I don't know why you don't know, but the Bariatric Retreat is in November. It's I believe it's the 12th through the 14th.
11th through the 14th.
11th through the 14th.
You're so close.
We will be there. We are so freaking excited. I actually was about to post that we have our plane tickets and everything bought, so we are
you're a step ahead of me.
Those are purchased. I am super stoked. Our room is all reserved. Like we have plans. Like we know what we're doing. So awesome. You guys need to check it out because like it's fucking cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah. You can find it at the company that kind of runs Bariatric Retreat that I've created is Bariatric Society. So bariatricsociety.com. We have virtual tickets now, and every now and then we have waitlist tickets that become available. And I've started planning the spring retreat. Don't get too excited. I'm not giving any details.
But just know that there is one.
There is a spring retreat. It's going to be on the East Coast. We're in the like last 10% of contracting right now.
Very cool.
And actually, this is a bit of a scoop for OSLP. I haven't told anybody about this yet. I have started sleuthing to do a summer camp, a bariatric summer camp.
Oh, that's interesting.
So wow. So yeah, after the spring retreat, we'll also have a summer camp, which is longer form, more activity centric. Yeah, and it'll be like true roughing it. Overnight summer camp.
Like in camp, like in cabins, or that'd be cool.
Like a legit summer camp.
Oh shit!
I've always wanted to do it. My wedding was actually a 3-day weekend at a summer camp.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, we'll just recreate that for the bariatric community.
That's so fucking cool. So you guys need to like follow her. It's One Hungry Mother. If you didn't hear in the earlier sessions of this, and then Bariatric Society has an Instagram and they have their own website. So go check all that stuff out because like literally they're trying to make it to where like you guys have all the information about bariatric life, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, there's that first year that's really hard. There's a lot of transition that happens that first year.
So much changes.
But then there's the maintenance, and everybody's like, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
you get to maintenance, it's like the hardest. Yeah. Like that first year is hard, but that maintenance stage is the hardest. And I think, especially with this first retreat, we're really serving that maintenance crowd. Especially, we sold tickets so early that everybody's had surgery by the time they go.
They're actually like they're just going to be kind of like you, like either like 6 months to 9 months to even like probably right at a year. Cause I think Bri will be
more.
a year.
There's people that are coming that are like, 5-10 years out from surgery as well.
True. So, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be there. I'm 6 years post-op.
6 years.
Yeah. And Michaela Miller's going to be there. She's 6 years. So we have some OGs, man. We got some OGs
sure.
Here.
Yeah.
Cause Bri, that's also a part of this. Like she's
my partner on Bariatric Society.
Like she's going to hit her 1 year soon. Yeah. So like she has a couple months left. So that's super exciting.
Yeah.
So maybe they could do something at the Bariatric Society thing. So that'd be cool. But anyways, back to you and your 3 months. Not 3 months. You're 3 months from 6 months. What
other big changes? I think I've gotten a lot more active. We're in the summertime now too.
That's true. Yeah.
And so just like backpacking with my sister. I was supposed to be going on a either 20 or 40 mile bike ride. We were either going to do a there or a there and back on the Banks Vernonia Trail. Okay. It's going to be 106 degrees on Friday. So we're going to go paddleboarding instead.
There you go. That sounds so much more fun and cooling.
Yes. But just like all the activities, anything that I can do to like be outside and move my body is what I want. So I'm trying to really, really focus, especially in this season, on the journey instead of the destination, because like once we get to our goal weight or whatever it is, right? Like you're still in the journey. You still have to maintain that weight forever. And it's just so important to just enjoy where you're at.
Yeah, like
the
what moment that you're in
right now. Yeah, and just have the gratitude and compassion for yourself that you need to like get to live in that space.
Well, it sounds like you need to take your own advice. You're being all mean to yourself about
No, I'm
53
nice as
pounds.
of today. I turned a corner today.
Good. Because like that, when I first heard you say that, I was like, man, no, that's good. It's so good.
I know. I'm such a freaking hypocrite. I'm like, don't compare. Like, your weight loss is great. And
well, it's easier said than done.
Yeah. When you turn it in on yourself, it's a completely different story.
Yeah. Like, and that's okay. Like, we're all hard on ourselves. It's just like, at least now I think maybe this is a difference for you is now you're aware of what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
You think that's a big difference from before to now?
That's another thing between 3 and 6 months is I don't weigh myself more than once a week, if once a week.
Oh, good.
It's probably like once every couple of weeks because pre-surgery, weighing myself didn't result in any kind of feelings.
Okay.
Like I didn't get angsty. The numbers, like, they just kept climbing and I didn't really understand.
They were climbing. Oh.
Before surgery. Sorry, I've got to take a drink of water.
Oh, you're totally fine. Get that drink.
But post-op, I think weighing myself is such a different story. Oh, I'm going to have a coughing fit for a second.
Are you?
I can feel it.
Okay.
I can feel the tickle.
She's like, it's coming. Do you want to drink more water?
Yeah.
Get it, girl. I can clip this out. Yeah, I can clip this out.
I don't want people to be like, oh, Steph had COVID.
No, never.
Okay.
You sure? Thank you. That's going to make it easier.
But yeah, so I'm not weighing myself as much and it's making such a big difference on my mental health because I'm so much more focused on how my body feels day to day instead of a random number that's on a scale.
Well, good. What made you do that? Was there like something that happened?
I started to notice that like I'd weigh myself and be frustrated because I had that stall.
Right.
And then coming out of that stall, I lost a few pounds, but then it felt like I was in another quote unquote stall. It was really just your weight loss is more like a stair stepper.
I was going to say, because what did you consider a stall before?
It was like weeks, like a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks. Okay, that's a real stall though. Like up to 2 weeks, that's a stall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's been people that are like, I was in a stall and it was like 3 days. I'm like, that's not a stall. Or even a week isn't a stall. It has to hit that 2 where it's like, okay. Because what Dr. Novak has told us is like, your body's actually like fluctuating from whatever you were doing almost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, so you actually, if you're being good right now with all your stuff, you're going to feel it in 2 weeks ahead almost. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started to notice an attitude shift about the scale.
Okay.
And so I was like, forget about it. And I just put it away for a while.
That's awesome that you could.
Yeah.
That's impressive because not a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there's people out there that's tough. That's tough for them.
Yeah. And I think for me, just very out of sight, out of mind, I had to like physically put it away. Yeah. It went into my closet. And then once it's gone, I would like forget.
Oh, good.
So
yeah, no, that's true. Like I put mine underneath my bed. So I just weigh myself like every Saturday in the morning.
Was that your surgery? Wait, your surgery day couldn't have been a Saturday?
No, my surgery was a Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, that's something that me and my brother started doing because we would always meet up on Saturday mornings and do like a class way back in the day. So we would always weigh in that day. So that's where like the Saturday just kind of just kept going for me. I was like, This makes it easier. I did put it away for a while. And then like that's where I gained a little bit. Like I started feeling it like on my sides and my arms and I'm like, oh shit. So I weighed myself. I was like, oh yeah, you're up 5 pounds. So we need to maybe just bring this back once a week.
Like, isn't that amazing though that you notice on your body when you've gained 5 pounds?
Yep.
I feel like pre-op, like
no idea.
I was gaining so much that 5 pounds.
You're like, what's that? Like you don't even notice. Like with 5 pounds now, I'll feel it. It's instantly back of my arms, the sides. And then there's like a little pouch on my belly where it's really funny to where like if I'm good, if I'm like been on point all week, it's flat. And then one little spot kind of goes a little bubble. And it's like if I've been eating like too many like carby things, I'm like, oh shit.
It's those freaking stretch marks from pregnancy.
So yeah, it's like one of those that kind of like goes bloop. And I'm like, you bastard.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was like, okay, all right, Melanie, I did have cookies and a sandwich like in the last 24 hours. I probably shouldn't have done that. And I can see it. You're telling me, okay. But it's really funny now because you can see it, feel it. But before I had no clue. Like, 5 pounds, 10 pounds. Like,
I think the thing that I love so much about weight loss surgery, especially I think now, another thing between 3 and 6 months is in those early phases, you feel just a little bit uncomfortable all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
You're still getting used to it. And I think between 3 and 6 months, you really start to understand which foods make you feel uncomfortable for real. And which, and what is your like normal base of like feeling good.
Yeah.
So like for me, like I eat a lot of almonds, but I have noticed that if I eat too many, like if I eat a handful of almonds, like my stomach is going to fill with gas in such a way, like it does not feel good.
Oh no.
And so like just little things like that where, I had no idea pre-surgery and not even in those first 3 months because I always just felt a little bit uncomfortable.
Right.
But now I think I feel so much better because I'm recognizing which foods make me feel good, genuinely good, and which ones I just have probably a slight intolerance to. I can still eat them, but it's just not going to make me feel my best.
I think that's what's interesting is like before you don't realize that like, these foods are actually making you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like I talk about all the time where like there's like this disconnect between food and brain and feelings. Like those don't ever like comprehend until like they're all taken away and like they're slowly given back to you. And then you can be like, oh, that's a problem. Or, like these may actually like I might like the taste of almonds and whatnot, but I probably can't have them because they're literally will give me whatever like gas or something. So it's like now you can actually see it.
Yeah.
Like mine turned to olives. I loved olives. But now, like, they make me feel full, and I always feel them right in my back of my throat immediately. Like, it's not even a little bit. Like, I'll just have, like, 3, and I'll chew them, and then I will feel them in my back of my throat all day long. And I don't know what the fuck the deal is. So I'm like, I just don't have olives. But that's the deal is, like, before, I would just still eat them.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
I had no idea. But now it's like, these things actually hurt you.
Yeah. I wonder if part of it, too, is just that we're eating more ingredients than like mixed foods.
Oh, true.
Than before. Yeah. Right? Where like we're having a handful of almonds. We're
having like the raw food. So now we can see it's not all processed.
Let's go us.
Yeah. Awesome. Because that like we totally are. And I like it. So
yeah. I like that for us.
I like that for us. I like that for you guys too. Trying to eat clean because you can actually tell more often.
Oh yeah. And as soon as I've noticed, I hate this for me, but I've noticed that my protein shakes, so like if I have a Fairlife, like I'll get that protein I need. It doesn't make me feel very good. It just doesn't. No. And I think it's all the like fake sugars in there. And it's not until you get past that first like 3 months or so where you're eating so much more real food that you don't necessarily need a protein shake every day. Yeah. And then you reincorporate one and you're like, ooh.
That's 100%. Because like I literally just had that because I've always had like the ones I make. So I have the one I make for almost 4 years. Like I just did that every morning. But like now I haven't made that thing in like 6 months.
Yeah.
So I have some pre-mades. It's like it's the apple oats from Premier. And I just shook it up and just took it in. I'm like, oh, that's a that's a protein shake. Like, because I have my Devotion and my Avi, and I know what those taste like. Like, that's like registered. But like, I haven't had that in so long. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God. No, like everything has to be pre-made because like, not pre-made. Like I have to actually make it myself because those pre-made ones, man.
It's tough.
It's very tough. I mean, I get it. Like I used to do it. Just eat it so you can get the protein.
Yeah. Do what you got to do. In the beginning, you just do what you got to do.
You really do. And I think, I've come off of the whole like 2 protein shakes a day, right? Like that's what we used to have to do.
Yeah.
And because like when you actually have real meat, like you're going to actually get a lot of protein.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
there's
get
so much.
plenty of protein from real food now that most days I don't need a protein shake. I'll sometimes have a protein water because I enjoy the flavor mixed with water.
Yeah.
And it helps get me to my goal. So that maybe my nighttime snack can be carby instead of protein.
Hey,
but
if you get the protein, I see what you're saying.
I'm like, I want that popcorn.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we all have that one, man.
That thing, man.
Yeah.
For me, it's popcorn.
And for you, it's popcorn. What is like your daily look like for food?
So almost every day I have a 2 Good yogurt because it's Greek yogurt and it has 12 grams of protein per 5 ounces. Today I mixed in some blueberries and a handful of sliced almonds, which gives it another 6 grams of protein. So it's 18 grams of protein right there. And then for lunch I had chicken salad. So it's canned chicken, super easy with mayonnaise and mustard, grapes. I almost said cherries. Learning my fruits. Grapes, celery, cilantro, and then just a little salt and pepper. And so that's almost 20 grams of protein right there in the 4 ounces.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then on my way down here, I actually ate my nighttime serving of Boom Chicka Pop.
Boom Chicka Pop. Boom Chicka Pop.
Which adds 2 grams of protein.
Hey, that still has some, right? It's counted.
But then typically Eric makes our dinner.
Okay.
Because he's a godsend.
Yeah.
But we do HelloFresh and I'll just eat the protein portion and some of the veggie for the fiber. And so that gives me another 20 grams or so. And then throughout the day, I'll either have a Trimino or a Protein 2.0.
There you go.
Give me that little extra sweet boost.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. Like that's like a full day. Like I don't see where you would feel like not like you're not eating.
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, there are situations like I've learned with the yogurt, for example, if you're finding that you're getting really, you're eating breakfast at 9 and by 10:30, you're getting really hungry and you've had yogurt, it's very protein rich, but because we have a sleeve and the yogurt's very liquidy, it slides right through. It doesn't keep you as full as long. So the main reason I add the almonds and the blueberries to give it some girth.
That's smart though.
So that I feel fuller longer.
Yeah.
And then same with the chicken salad, just finding things that have crunch and that have kind of that thickness to it. Instead of, if you have soup, you could have chicken soup. That's going to slide right down. You're not going to feel as full as long.
And I mean, you get fuller faster because of the water and the chicken.
Yeah, so you're not going to get quite as much content in there.
No.
And more I read, the more evidence there is for the value of just 3 to 4 meals or eating events in a day instead of the 5 to 6, which is my go-to, is like probably 6 a day. So that menu I just gave you is kind of my like 3 to 4 of like when I'm being really good.
Okay.
I use good in quoting marks because you're still good and worthy even if you make other food choices.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, just because of what's happening with your insulin, it's just better to eat less times throughout the day. And if you can load your meals with protein to keep you full longer, it'll just be easier.
Well, and when I read that too, I was like, oh shit, that makes way more sense because then like at nighttime, I don't feel hungry.
Yeah.
Like I've created a habit that I have to just break of just like when I'm editing, I want to have like a snack.
Oh yeah. When I'm driving. Oh my gosh.
Snacker where you drive.
Eric cracked up on my way when I was leaving to come down here. I had some Quest chips. I had an RX bar. I had my Boom Chicka Pop. I had a Trimino protein water with me. He was like, "Are you coming home?"
Right? Like, that's like your meal all day.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He was like, well, you can't, even if you tried, you couldn't eat all of that.
Right.
But like most of it, I was like, oh, I'll store these things in the car for later. Oh, and a bag of cashews. Like the list goes on. You would have thought it was ridiculous. But I was like, I just want to store some things in the car. And I was like, I want to take away every temptation for me to stop along the way.
No, that's amazing. Cause like, I think it takes people a while to get to that point where they're like, oh, I need to actually just bring it with me.
All the things. Even if they're things that you don't think that you're going to want right now. Maybe later you want that.
Well, and I didn't do that till almost, which is kind of funny, is like almost like a year out that I started actually doing that.
Yeah.
Cause like I was in like this weird thing where like, okay, I was like, I have to weigh everything. I have to make sure everything's like on point. So I did everything at home. And so I barely like left to go do stuff. And if I did go, I would already like know what I'm having at that place.
Yeah.
And I already had it calculated.
Wow.
Like that's how I would do it for the first year. But like after that, like I never would bring anything with me. And then I realized I got into some scenarios where like I was just in the car too long. I was starting to feel a little dizzy. There was a time where like we were driving on River Road and I stopped at the light. It's red. And apparently I yelled and I turned. It was red. And Eric's like, are you okay? And I'm like, nope, I need to eat. Like, this is a problem. So I'm like, that's when I was like, I have to put something in the car.
Yeah.
Yes, I was cautious and I waited for all the cars to go and then I went. But like that, I should not be doing that. Like, that's not okay. So that's how I was like, hey, you really should have stuff in the car. You went way too fucking long. Like I had my water, but I just didn't have food.
Well, and I hurt myself. If I go too long without eating, I get so frantic about getting food into my body that like I won't realize I'm doing it, but I'll eat too fast and then I'm like, oh God, it doesn't feel good.
No, it's like right there and it gets stuck.
Yeah. Oh. So bringing food with me just makes it a little bit easier. That's where I struggle, I think, with that like 3 to 4 hour thing is because like, well, I need to eat whenever I get hungry or else I'm going to shove my face.
You're like, I'm afraid of that other end where like, I'm just going to hurt myself.
I mean,
later.
I don't think there's any like perfect answer. I think that it's all a spectrum and you figure out what works for you.
I think so too.
And so I'm still trying to figure that out. Maybe at my 1 year, I'll be able to tell you.
Yeah, you might have a whole different
formula.
Well, I think you might have one because you are a numbers girl and you're going to figure this shit out. Because I also was reading, that's why intermittent fasting, I know people hate it, but like that's why like that works though is the insulin thing. Yeah. It's because you're only eating in a time frame and that means your whole body can have time to actually recoup and process all your food in a timely manner because that's really what the deal is. Like absolutely. That's why people say don't eat before you go to bed. It's not like you're going to gain weight because of it. It's just like it makes it a lot harder for your body to process all the food that you just put in it.
Absolutely.
And that's why you feel like shit when you wake up. You're just like, because your body was not done processing everything. So it's like actually just,
oh my God.
It's like you're a car. It
just makes me think of those nights with Eric where I've smoked a little bit too much pot and I've like definitely eaten more than my pouch wanted. Yep. More than my sleeve wanted, I guess. Yep. And then you wake up and you're like, there's still food in there processing. I don't like this.
Right. You're like, it can't be possible, but it feels like it. Like there's something there.
There's some bloat.
Like I feel heavy. Yeah. The bloat's there. Yeah. Like I had this is breaking news of yesterday of Melanie. Like I had kind of a frantic moment with food. So it was my best friend's birthday. She turned 40. So we had a barbecue over here and hung out in the pool. And her coworker made her these fucking bomb ass chocolate chip cookies. I'm very simple. I like just like a chilled chocolate chip cookie, right? Hence why I love the Baskin Robbins chocolate chip ice cream. And those were a fucking problem. Yeah. And what happened was that like I had to like kept grabbing stuff out of the house. So I kept passing by and I got to the table and I was like, you have to take these home with you. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, these fucking cannot be in my house. Yeah. This is a problem. And she's like, explain to me, like, what do you mean? Like, why is this a problem? I was like, I just had 3 cookies, Anne. And she's like, what? They all turned and looked at me like, how did that happen? Well, I passed by them 3 times. Like, I can't. Like, this is a real problem. Like, these are...
I'm so proud of you, though, for getting them out of your house, though, because, like,
it was
the
like
food
painful.
addict in you is 100% like, okay, let's go tuck those away before somebody takes them home. Like, those are my later snack.
I thought that, too. I was like, I could have these when I edit tonight. We can just have these. Like, 100% had that in my head.
Oliver's birthday party was a couple weeks ago, and we had cupcakes there. And as people were leaving, I was like, yeah, I've had the Tupperwares lined up. Like, you take 2 cupcakes. Yeah. You take 2 cupcakes.
It's like, oh, they have to just be out of the house.
Yeah,
like,
because especially that, it was like, this isn't even something that good as store-bought kids' cupcakes with store-bought icing.
Sometimes those can be good.
I mean, but it's sugar.
It is.
And like at the end of the night, your girl's going to eat that if it's there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. And I felt like shit within like hours of eating those cookies.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like it was just like a weight was just like in my stomach.
Yeah.
Because I ate them like still like even 6 years post-op, like I still have a restriction. I can still feel it. And yeah, like I tossed those down way too fast.
Yeah.
And I had to stand. They were like, are you okay? And I was like, nope, I got to walk it off.
Yep.
I'm like,
anytime I have crackers or bread or anything like that, which I know technically I'm 6 months, I can have that stuff. It's frowned upon, right? Because it's very high in carbs. But every once in a while, like I'll have half of my bun with my burger or things like that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's fine, but other times it just like screws up my whole meal. Yeah. Like everything's stuck.
The whole thing. Well, and for me, I was so nervous around 6 months to even have those things in it. It wasn't even because of carbs. It's because Dr. Patterson was like, you don't have room for it. And I go, what? And she's like, you have no room for rice, pasta, crackers, bread. Like your stomach is tiny. Like you cannot have it. And I was like, okay. So I took that like to like literal, like, all right, girl. Okay. She says, do not touch these things. They are they will expand, which is really the rice and the pasta will. Yeah. Because we know like if you eat like crackers are just gonna.
Yeah. You can see what it does in water.
Right. Exactly. Like we know what it's up to. So like for sure, like I was like, nope. She was very like, no. How was your last doctor's appointment? Did everything come back good?
I have it. My 6-month appointment on Thursday.
Oh, so it's coming up.
They did my labs a little bit early because I went through a period where I was feeling really tired and lethargic. Okay. And so I was worried about my iron levels because I like always have iron issues.
I mean, that's the deal. Yeah, you already have iron issues, right? Yeah. So,
but all of my stuff came back beautiful. So that was really exciting. I'm really looking forward to going into my appointment because I know that I'm like doing well in terms of what they want for me. And in fact, I think I've probably gotten close to that 60 to 70% of excess weight expectation that they had.
That's cool.
I'm excited about that. I did meet already with the dietitian because they separate. In mine, you have the like medical, the nurse practitioner appointment, and then separately you have the dietitian and physical therapist. And so I already had it with the dietitian and physical therapist. Okay. And it was just awesome talking to her about the activity and something that did not occur to me that I wanted to share while we were here because I have always had, not always, but in my bigger body, I had a lot of like knee, ankle, and hip pain. And that has not gone away. Like it went through a period of time where I was like, oh my God, I feel so much better. Right. And then lately, because I've amped up my activity, it started getting achy again. And so I talked to her about it. And the explanation was so interesting because she got into the anatomy of our bodies when we're big bodied. And like, you guys can't see, but my hands are kind of at an angle. And then you lose some weight. And so your hips, for example, if you lose some weight between your thighs, the gait of your hips is changing.
Oh, so your gait changes.
The physical anatomy of where your arms are and where your legs are and how you walk and how you move and all of that. And even the fat between your vertebrae and all of that is changing so dramatically.
Oh, I didn't even think of
in the first year that there's an expectation that you're going to have some aches and pains, especially if you had them previously. So she was like, yeah, I'd be surprised if, you had surgery and were like miraculously like, feeling better. But she was like, give it till, you get through this first year, for some people, even 2 years. And like, you're going to feel dramatic change once your body starts getting used to its new anatomy. I was like, that is crazy.
That is super cool to know though. Cause like, I remember like even right now, my right side it's just, I don't know if it's from the weight thing or because I do have metal in my left leg. So I don't know if the healing of all the things happened or like one's just a little bit like longer. And like, like my hip goes up a little bit more on this side. Yeah. So I'm just like, this is interesting. Yeah. And like, I remember
We're not perfectly symmetrical.
No, not at all. Not at all. Cause I remember like even just getting into the car sometimes, like you over like try to grab.
Yeah.
Because like you're used to being like bigger. Like,
Yeah.
have you had any of those moments?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think I overcompensate, you know, when I'm hiking or when I'm riding my bike, or I'm constantly concerned about my tire pressure when I'm riding my bike. Because 70 pounds ago, like I had a lot more like tire like pops than I do now. Like, you know, you hit a big bump and your weight plus the velocity plus the bump.
Yeah.
Like, and you'll get that little burst. And I haven't had one since I, you know, started riding again in the last few months. But it's like, it's such a like weird little tick of mine now because of being bigger bodied.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly like watching my, like, oh, is that tire full? Did I blow it out?
Well, I mean, that's going to be a habit that will eventually go away for sure, but it's going to be some time.
Yeah.
Like, because you were bigger for a lot longer time. So it's like your brain is going to take a while to catch up. But it's kind of cool to know that like every time you touch it, by the way, it's not going to.
I know. Yeah.
You probably feel good. You're like,
it's still full. It's still full. It was so funny yesterday. This morning when I was taking my 6-month pictures, you're just talking about the you know, getting used to it. Eric's frantically looking around the house for something. I don't even know what he's looking for. But I was like taking my 6-month picture. So I'm just in a sports bra and bike shorts. And I was like, what are you looking for? And he's like, your stomach. I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, my goodness.
Like,
he's adorable.
So he was looking for keys. But I was just
I mean, you did lose it.
It gave me pause, though, because I was like, wait, what? Where is it? Like, it's like I could not comprehend. But like, like I've lost my stomach and my butt and my boobs, but yeah, my stomach.
But yeah, like guys, we'll post that one because that's a great photo of you. Like you can really tell like there really isn't. There's no stomach.
I know. I feel very lucky that I've lost a lot of my weight I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
like,
you never know.
Still, like my thighs have not gone down as many inches for sure. Like everybody carries their weight differently. But yeah.
Because and you're tall. So some people that don't know, like how tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Yeah. So she's a tall woman. And yeah, like you're going to distribute way differently than I am. 5'4", like 5'5" on a good day. I'm like right in between there. So, but yeah, like, because mine stay in my hips and my thighs. I did not lose my hips and my thighs. They've hung out there for this whole time. But like most people do lose it in their face and down their neck, and then it gets to their boobs. It's like the last thing is tummy. So
boobs are such
let's talk about it. What's going on with the boobs?
Oh my God. I put on a swimsuit yesterday that's like from a pre-op swimsuit. This blue polka dotted swimsuit. I have one of my before pictures in it, but all of my other swimsuits were dirty because we've been out in the pool and at the lake a bunch this summer. So I was like, oh, this one will work. We're just in my backyard. And like, there's the seam that goes under your boobs, right? My boobs are so flat at this point that they were sliding under the seam. Like it was just like tubes, and like the bra part of the swimsuit's like sitting on top of my boobs.
Oh no!
Yeah. So
poor thing. Did you go get a new swimsuit?
I mean, I have enough swimsuits.
You do?
I'm wearing one right now.
Yeah, because for those that get to see this, I'm in my swimsuit because it is fucking hot here.
So hot. We're going to go swimming after this.
Yeah, after this, we're getting in that pool. We're hanging out for a while because like, oh man, it's going to be so much fun. Can I get to see your outfit then?
Yeah.
Your swimsuit. So do you normally wear a 2-piece? Do you wear a 1-piece?
I go for the 2-piece. I have a 1-piece too, just because then I don't have to find 2 pieces, but I just mix and match.
Nice. Was that
all these 2 pieces?
You've always done that, or is that a new thing?
No, that's new. I used to always wear a 1-piece, but yeah, I bought a couple of swimsuits at the beginning of spring because I was really excited. I have not lost as much on my lower half as I have in my aforementioned lack of boobs. And so I had these like double D tops that went with the bottoms. And so none of those fit anymore, but all my bottoms do. So I had to buy new bottoms. So none of my swimsuits match, but
hey, some of those look really cute together.
Yeah,
so.
It works. I'm fine with it.
You're like, well, and it probably works on you because it's you.
Yeah.
You know, so
I like it. Are
you like super comfortable in a 2-piece? I only asked that because I just got my very first 2-piece.
I am. So. I think I am because my waist is the smallest part of my body.
Nice.
So I feel like they're always high waisted. I need to cover that little like flap of I once had a baby.
Yes, ditto.
Business that's going on. But yeah, I mean, I feel comfortable with my like upper abdomen showing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like it was interesting because like Kelly's always worn them since we were kids. Like I've never seen her not in a bikini.
Yeah. It's easier when you got to pee.
That's what I'm learning. Holy shit. I was so excited this last weekend. I wore it and I had to pee and I was like, just was able to go in and just like pull down. I'm like, oh my God, there's not like this side business or like I have to take the whole thing down depending. I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Or as my daughter does, and she just pees through her swimsuit and then rinses off in the bathtub like a monster.
That's amazing.
Like, so
she's
gross.
Legit. She's legit about it.
5 years old and she's got her own.
I never thought of that.
I know. Well, I mean, nor I. Learning new things every day.
That's a great, like, that's creative way of doing it. That's what we'll say. But yeah, like that was a huge deal because like I've never worn too much. I've always been big. So I'm like, I've never been comfortable to do it. And then Eric was like, you have the body for it. You should do it. Yeah. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, like your style is more like the retro 50s era. So that's the high waisted. So like, look for those. Yeah. You look great in those. And I was like, okay.
And everybody has the body for a two-piece. Everybody has a swimsuit body. Everybody does. I mean, you're not going to find me in a string bikini.
That's one. Yeah. Like there's levels. Like
there's levels.
Yeah, ditto. Like I will not be in a string bikini, but now I'll be in a regular one.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Well, because like I also was brought up with we were all big. The whole family's big. Everybody's like 200 plus no matter what in this family.
Yeah.
So they all would be like, don't wear those things that make you look gross. Like that was like totally what I grew up with. Like, and I didn't realize like how it was affecting me until I got older because they would just be like, no, fat people can't wear these. Like they were mean to themselves and just saying those outward things. And so like I definitely was brainwashed with it and to think like, no, like you can't. Like there's an age group that gets it. Like, you know, like it's like 16 to like 28 and that's it. Everybody else that's over that age has to be in a one piece. Like that was just literally like what I grew up with. So I just assumed like that's kind of the thing. But like now being in this community, realizing, oh no, you can love your body and just wear whatever the fuck you want. Like
100%. Yeah. That breaks my heart because I can totally feel that of like your family, in their minds, they're talking to themselves.
Right.
But as a child, like everything that is said, or even as an adult, you hear somebody say something like that about themselves and you're like, oh, well, I'm smaller than that person. And if they think that they're bad, then they must think I'm a whale, you know, like just little things like that where you're going to make the comparison. So.
Oh, yeah. As a little girl, like that's all you know. Like you didn't know the other side of the coin. And so there's no context. So all you get is just like, oh, negative about fat people, like bigger people, obese people, like all these negative things. So that's why like I didn't tell anybody. Like there's like a whole thing about why it's like, cause like, no, like I couldn't. Cause like, then it would be like, what? Now you're going to be the smaller one?
Oh, you didn't tell anybody about your surgery.
Yeah. Like it would, like I only told like the people that would have to like take care of me, basically.
On a need to know basis.
Yeah, it was definitely a need to know. If you saw me, then that's who got to know. And that was completely it. But that's because of the way that we were raised was like, it's funny, like it's not okay to be big, but then it's not okay for anybody to be small in the family. It was just weird. Yeah. It's not like that anymore.
I think every family has that shit in like one direction or another, right? Whether it's bodies or jobs or marriage and kids, you know.
Oh, that's true. There's always like that thing for that family.
Or sometimes multiple
things.
Hopefully it's one.
Things. How has been all the support? I'm assuming it's great because I've met your husband, but how is like the fam bam and them all
My
adjusting?
Husband's a saint. The kids are too young to really understand what's going on, so we're good there. My family has been incredibly supportive. Yeah. They're very excited. It's there's always this weird balance that I can see them wrestling with whenever they want to compliment my body, but they don't want to be over. Like they don't want to over talk about my body, which I appreciate. I love them for giving giving a fuck, really, you know, like
that they care enough and they're acknowledging like, okay, we can't like overdo it because that can make a problem. But I do want her to know like she's looking great.
Which it's like the perfect balance for me. They'll say, "Oh my God, you look great," and I'll be like, "Great, you know, thank you. I feel great too." And then we move on to other topics, and it's like, "Great, thank you for the external validation." And now we can move on. And now we can move on.
You do that gracefully because I get awkward. I'm thank you. Okay. And I'm like, just standing there
I had
bit.
one of those awkwards. I won't out who it is, but, well, because I felt like such an asshole.
Oh no.
So I had been getting a lot of compliments on my body on having lost weight. And you guys are going to hear why I feel like an asshole in just a second. But, I don't do a lot of the like drop-offs and pickups with the kids. Eric usually does that as part of his day. And I went to go pick up Avery one day randomly. And somebody that works at their daycare came out and was like, oh my God, Stephanie. And I didn't even wait for her to give me the compliment. And I was like, thank you. And in retrospect, I'm like, what is wrong with me? But thankfully, I was correct in what she was about to say, because otherwise it would have been real awkward.
You're just assuming the compliment.
I immediately, I just assumed the compliment. Like, who am I? Like, how far have I come that, like, now I just assume I'm going to get a compliment?
That's
like,
amazing.
That's a problem. But I just do this, like, oral diarrhea on everybody who gives me a compliment. I feel like I need to explain myself. And so, she was like, oh, my God, Stephanie. And I was like, oh, thank you. I had weight loss surgery in February, and it's been awesome. And I was like, but it's so good to see you. And she just looked gobsmacked for a minute. She was just stunned. And she was like, I can't believe you just told me that. And for a second, I was like, excuse me? Like, I don't have any problem with it. I was like, ready, like puffing that chest. And she was like, I mean, I had surgery in March of 2019, and I'm just so impressed that you can just like come out and say it. Like, I haven't told anybody. And I was like, oh, well, I have this book club called the Bariatric Book Club. And she was like, oh, that's great. I've actually been struggling. So she's talking about joining. So like somebody at my kid's daycare is talking about joining the book club. But it was just such a weird, small world situation.
Well, it's just like there's a lot of closeted people. Like, and that's who we're trying to reach, because you don't have to be closeted. Yeah. You don't. Like, it's your weight, it's your health. You should not be scared to talk about it. You shouldn't have to feel like you're scared. Like, you can be scared all you want, I guess. But like, we like as a society, it should be okay for you to talk about those things and not feel awkward about it. Yeah,
it's a surgery. It can be private, but as long as it's coming from a place of privacy and not shame.
Exactly.
Like, and I think that's the important piece. The part that I struggle with is, like, sometimes I'll tell people and they just don't know how to react. Like, they're just so awkward.
They're confused, too.
They're confused. They don't know how they should feel about it. And I'm getting more okay with that. Like, I'm definitely an empath. So, like, other people feeling awkward typically makes me feel more awkward. Okay. But lately I'll tell people, and like, I just kind of like to sit with that awkwardness. Like, I want to normalize that people do this, that they get weight loss surgery and that they talk openly about it. Yes. Right. Like, if I had been on Adkins for 6 months and lost this weight and somebody complimented me and I was like, oh, thank you, I've been doing this Adkins diet. Nobody would blink. Right. So more and more, I like feel like an obligation to just kind of like let it be awkward and like normalize the conversation as much as I can.
Well, and like, guess what? You learn, like, just in general, when you are awkward about something that's up like in your face, normally you learn so much from it. Yeah. Like, sometimes you just have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah. And then you get to learn a bunch of awesome fucking shit about people. Like, like,
and
really.
I found, like, the less awkward I am about it, the more just like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah. Like, because Kellie had to teach me that, because like, I don't talk about it with people. It doesn't just like come up in conversation. Yeah. So with Kellie, like, she's very forward. And like, when we were just in Florida, like, I was like, I'm like, we're in Florida, I'm talking about it. And it's great because these people are super nice and like, they want to hear about the podcast now. Like, they're like talking to us about it. Like, these people from, we stayed in this condo and we just went outside to go to the store and we just caught these people that were just on a walk with their dog. And she was talking about, like, cause they're from Canada, and she had, like, plastics done. And then we started talking about the podcast with her. And then now she's like, oh my God, they downloaded right in front of us. Cause they're like, you guys are hitting on all the things that I've always thought about. But like, and I don't even have weight loss surgery. It's just a fact of like dealing with weight and then having plastics. She was able to relate to us. Yeah. And she was like, this is amazing. I'm like, okay, I need to just like talk about it a lot more because I forget, like, oh, we all can relate. It's not just people that's had surgery. Like, this needs to be with anybody. And I notice the more that I do talk about it, that awkwardness goes slowly away too.
Yeah.
Like, because then I'm not awkward anymore.
But yeah, I was going to say part of it's that you're just getting better at talking about it. So
yeah.
And I didn't realize this is what I was doing, but I put myself in a position now where I can't get around it. If I tell people I've left my job, they're like, what are you doing now? And I'm like, oh, I opened my own business. And they're like, what's your new business?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a book club for people who had weight loss surgery and a retreat for people who had weight loss surgery.
Yeah,
they're like, did you have weight loss surgery? Yeah, yes, I had weight loss surgery.
Yeah, because like no matter what now, your whole
whole business, like my whole career now,
your whole life is like, this is it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because I think that's what's going to keep you and everybody that's working with you guys like on point though.
Oh yeah, I've thought about that too. I'm like, I can't gain my weight back or else there goes my business. No, not really. I don't think people, but like I'd feel a lot more like nervous about it.
I think about it daily because of the podcast. Because like the workout Wednesdays, like I would just randomly like, you know, you can see like the progression. Yeah. It's kind of funny because you're going to you see in the beginning is just me coming up with stuff and then you'll see photos of me doing it.
Yeah.
And then it comes from like, oh, these are pre-planned ones I've done before. And now it's live ones. You know, I do live every Wednesday. And like, because I switched to live, no matter what, I get a workout every week.
Yeah.
So that's the deal is like, I told myself, like, if I'm going to talk about working out, I need to be fucking working out. Yeah. And I can't gain weight. Like, I can't like, in my brain, I know that I can.
You totally can. We would still love and accept. That's a human thing.
Super human. And it's just like, in my brain, I'm like, okay, but you can't fuck up too much. Like you're supposed to like be a role model for people.
You can't completely fall off the wagon. It would be akin to like not posting any new podcast for 6 months.
It'd be so weird.
Yeah.
It'd be so fucking weird. But I say this as it's awesome because like that makes me accountable.
Yeah.
Like I noticed I need something to hold me accountable. And if that means like me being a role model for other people, I'm down for that. Like
I wonder about that too with things like the retreat. Like I wonder if people feel any sense of like pressure or put better, I guess, would be accountability for like, oh, I'm going to see all of these people in November.
Yeah.
I want to try to like get my healthiest before then.
I've thought about it.
Interesting.
I'm not going to lie.
I hadn't literally had not thought about that until this moment.
It's almost like, you know, when you're going to be in a wedding.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And I've already thought about, okay, so we're going to be on top notch by the time we get to the Bariatric Retreat. Because like we're doing a recording there, guys, and we have like a bunch. Like we're going to be with a doctor, and we just released her episode, and she's amazing. There's so much more to talk about with her.
Yes,
like there's just so much there, and we get to do that live, and it's going to be fucking rad. And like, so but I want to also feel my best, and I want to look my best.
Yeah,
and so I'm not going to lie, it's definitely twittered in my head of like,
interesting.
All right, we're gonna.
That's great though. That's great. Like I hope for people motivation. That it's a motivator, but not a deterrent if they're like falling. Because the last thing I would want is for somebody to feel like, oh, I'm not doing all the things or I feel like I'm failing, and then not want to go to something like this because they don't want to show up at their not best.
No, that would suck.
Yeah,
that would suck. But no, don't feel that way, people.
Yeah,
like
don't feel that way.
That's
the whole point.
Yeah, I'd say the whole point of like literally just the bariatric community and the society is there's no judgment.
None. Yeah,
because we're fucking human and we all make mistakes.
And what's kind of beautiful about it too is like we've all come from this position of being bigger bodied in the past. So there's this point of just like being a little ostracized, being a little more nervous about people, that we're all in that same boat, right? Like I've gotten so many messages from people that are like, I'm so nervous coming by myself. Like I don't have any friends in this community. I'm like, dude,
don't worry.
Dude, you're my friend.
Yeah, like you will be fine. Yeah. Like this isn't going to be cliquey. This is going to be us like loving each other.
Yeah. We're all on the same boat there.
I love it. Yeah, because we have followers that are like, we're going. We get to finally see you. We're like, yes.
Yeah, it'll
be so much fun. So what is a big NSV? Because you know we love to celebrate non-scale victories. What would be the one in the last 3 months?
The biggest NSV.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many like great little ones where, you know, I mean, even this upcoming Friday, knowing like it's too hot to go bike riding, like prompting that we go paddleboarding instead. Like, what an easy out, right? It's 106 degrees. I don't have to have like this hardcore day. I'll stay home. I think like the biggest like splashy one, like the most notable one was this backpacking trip that I just did with my sister. So we did almost 10 miles of hiking and we stayed overnight and it was pouring down rain. And so for a minute there, we were thinking about going home, but then the sun came out and it was beautiful the next morning. And I'm so glad we were there. And then we went to go, my brother works up on Mount Hood. He works for Mount Hood Meadows. And so we went up to go visit him.
Nice.
He was like, hey, you guys want to do a lift ride? I'll take you up to the top of the mountain. So we went up to the top of the mountain. I thought we were just going up and back down and then getting lunch. But he was just so excited to be in his element that he's like, come over on this trail. You'll see Mount Jefferson. Come over on this trail. You'll see this big meadow. And so we're hiking around and Lacey and I are dying at this point because we'd hiked like 10 miles. Like, but like, you know, we just did it and we were totally fine. And then we went and had lunch and I ate slowly and it was like, oh my God, I'm starting to get the hang of this. And like, I'm like living like a person that wasn't 270 pounds, which felt really, really incredible. There are other ones, you know, like fitting into my goal jeans early.
Ooh.
Like I slipped on my size 10 jeans and was like, what?
Yeah.
They don't feel comfortable yet, but they fit.
They fit. You button them and everything.
Button them and everything.
There you
and
go.
I never in my life expected to fit in a size 10. Like I bought these, kept the tags on, knowing that I would someday.
Are you wearing them right now?
No, these are
okay. I was like, oh my God, that's
these
so
are
cool.
different pair. But I kept the tags on because I was like, I might not actually get to this size, so I want to be able to return them and to have them fit. I was like, what in the world?
Good for you.
Yeah, it's just been. It's crazy. I tell people, I get a lot of messages from people that are like nervous or right before their surgery. You know, is it worth it? And I'm like, if I didn't lose another pound, like I'm, you know, halfway through my year. If I didn't lose another pound, it was already worth it. And I'd be happy.
Good.
So, I mean, I still.
No, but you're like, you're okay. Like it's not gonna like fuck with you.
Yeah. I feel great. It was already worth it, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
Like, hands down.
Like
I couldn't have done
return.
that. I couldn't have done this without it.
So, what is your, if you don't mind me asking, what is your actual weight today?
Today, my weight is 192. And I started at 270.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
How exciting. She's in the Wonderland.
I am in Wonderland.
Yeah. How'd you feel when you hit it?
I was stoked. And it had been, I mean, I had talked to you when I was at like 204, I think, and I was just stuck there and it was driving me bonkers. So once it literally dropped to like 198 and I was like, I'm in. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
I'm in. Yeah. And that's about when I started putting the scale away because I was like, all right, you've made it into Wonderland. Yay. Like from here on out, it's going to be really incremental loss, like really small increments of loss. So I was like, I don't need to see that I weigh a pound heavier because I haven't pooped yet today. Right. Like that's so true. That adds no valuable data to my life.
It's actually funny. Like I'll weigh and I'll be like, that's off by a pound. There's like pee and poop in here still, but I have not expressed that yet.
There's sewage in my body.
It doesn't count, damn it. Well, because like what's funny is like, so here's what's great about weight and height is like you said, you're 5'8", you're 182. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm 5'4", 182. Oh, are we the same? We are the same weight because that's where I stay. Like I got to 179, I got up to 192, and I've I just fluctuate by 3 pounds. Yeah. I'll go down to 189 and just come back up. And it's very annoying. But I mean, I'm on the phentermine and I know people have questions about that. So I've been on it. So here's I haven't been able to give like a true review. And this is like new information for everybody to know is we've been having health insurance problems. Oh no. So because my husband's on workman's comp, somehow all of our health insurance got canceled. Yeah. And so, but they also didn't tell us that it was canceled until 30 to 45 days after it was canceled. So I saw Dr. Patterson and then all of a sudden I'm getting these bills for Dr. Patterson. My God. So we just
They didn't even send you like a COBRA letter?
So after I got the bill from Dr. Patterson. So that's what's interesting. I was like, oh, so my own office gets to know first and I don't get to know? Like, that's not cool. Like, I should have known before I even made that fucking appointment. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And so we've been fighting. And so what's been happening is I've been taking I I'd been taking halves this whole time just to try to make it last.
Stretch. Yeah.
And then like she refilled me because we did at least a blood pressure check, because that's really the biggest deal is if what they're worried about is your heart rate and if it's going to be too high. And mine was still the same. So she prescribed one more, but I'm now, and so that was like April. My health insurance finally kicked back in July 1st.
Oh,
I mean, they're retroactive and everything, but it took like Eric calling a bunch of places, me calling a bunch of places.
Stuff where I'm like, time is money. You owe me money for all this stuff I had to do to fix your mistake.
I had to do a nastygram to his boss. I was like, this is not okay. I don't know what the hell happened at your work, but like, this is problem. Like I will do all the things because he knows where I work and he knows I deal with attorneys. And I was just like, don't make me do this. I don't want to do this. This is
don't
stupid.
Make me be the bad guy here.
Yeah. Like this is not our fault. There wasn't like Eric filled all the things. So like, that's the problem with the phentermine is that like, it has helped because I know on the days that like I'm having more carby substance, it's not sticking because like I'm still 192. Yeah. So that's the deal is like, I know it's working. It's just, I can't use it correctly until I go see her and I go see her next month. And then I can finally be on it like a normal person. So that's why I feel like because I was going to do like a full fucking review on it, but I can't do that. And with that kind of data, like, you know, like numbers person is like, this isn't fair data to go off of. So that's my phentermine little rant for a moment is like, it does work. It's just not the way that I have to use it. Because like, I know if I could use like a full dose of that, I probably would finally break my 192 stall and get down into the 180s. Yeah. I really just want to get to like 175, 170. And that's because like when I was there, I was like muscle.
Okay. I was just going to ask, I was like, what's driving that want?
Yeah. So it's just the muscle because when I got to 179, I was like starting to get like the lines in my arms. And I was getting like the top of my waist was like getting really tiny to where there's like maybe an inkling of an ab. So I was like, I just want to get back to that because I was like, I loved the way that I felt and looked right there. Even though that I do feel amazing and I feel very confident in my skin, it's just like it would be cool to get back down there. And I know it's going to take a lot of work, and I could probably. I'm not gonna give myself an excuse. I could do this shit right now if I like scheduled the correct time and got all the workouts in and did all of the things. Yeah. But I feel overwhelmed with just doing my normal day to like I have a 40-hour job. Yep. And then I do all the podcast stuff, which is really another 40-hour job. And then when Kel's out like this, like how am I can do my physical challenge. That's what I told myself this month. I will not miss a day. So I'm doing my own physical challenge at least. And I'm taking a walk. Yep. So that's all I get in this month. I don't care.
I think that's okay. Like
I think that's fair.
I think it's especially in this process, we're so focused on the before and after. And I'm part of that. I literally posted a before and after today. So I'm not knocking those. Let's be honest.
We did too. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, we're a living organism. It's like, it's more like gardening than it is playing with Legos. If we're going to use a metaphor, we're not putting together a Lego set and then it's done.
Right.
It's, you know, there's constantly going to be different seasons. There's going to be different points at which we need to nurture it. And okay, I can't go any further with this metaphor, but we're a living organism. Yes, it's not a fixed item.
No, I love that. I like that idea and that metaphor because you're absolutely right. Because it's ebbs and flows and
there's different seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a parent. Like with kids, it's like I'm in a season right now where they require a lot of attention. Yeah. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, those are the ages too. You have to be on point.
Yes. And so, and there's going to be a season where they don't need me as much, but they also won't cuddle with me as much. Yeah. Like my daughter insists she holds my hand as we walk to camp right now, which I just
so cute.
Love. But there was a moment where I was like, oh, give me my hand back. It's so hot out. I didn't say this to her, but
no,
and then I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Like she's not gonna hold my hand for that much longer.
Well, that's the parent, like where we start feeling the parent guilt.
Yeah.
You know, and it is hot.
It's so relatable to our weight loss surgery too. Yeah. Like there's these seasons and you never know how long a season's gonna last and if it's gonna be better or worse. Like frankly, you might get down to 179 or whatever and be like, I actually don't like this. Like, I want to get back to where I was.
It's actually very, very possible that like I'll get there and be like, no, we're going to be like 5 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Like, this might be just too small.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. That's the one thing I would say, like, I've learned in these like 6 years of doing this is like, you get to learn to be okay with yourself.
Yes.
You get to really learn to love you and like figure out who you are, because with this process, you're changing so much.
Yeah. And I think like the more I think about it, the more like self-love to me is so much about like enjoying the journey or appreciating and having gratitude for where you are right now.
Yeah.
Like not what you expect to be or what you think you're capable of even, which is also a positive thing. But, you know, like self-love is like literally right now. And, you know, if you hate going to the gym, then don't go to the gym.
Yeah.
You know, do something else because you need to enjoy the process. Life is the process.
Yeah. Yeah. If that just means like you enjoy hiking, then that's your workout.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hiking. I'm out riding my bike. I'll do yoga every now and then, and I'll hop on the Peloton, but I'm not going to do it every day. I know I'm not going to do it every day.
Like you come to terms with that.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think I say this a lot on my page, but it's just like so important for people to, we live so much of our life looking as bigger bodied people, at least for me. I guess I shouldn't speak for other people, but I've spent so much of my life looking forward to when I've lost the weight or when I feel good about my body or when, right? And you know, you look up and you're 34 years old and like, you know, like I am very privileged. I've had an awesome life, but you know, I think there are moments that I could have appreciated more in the moment. And so I think that's the biggest thing with weight loss surgery is I am getting more in tune with that kind of stuff, especially in the last few months, is like being here now.
Being in the moment, being present. It's going to be really helpful for a successful journey because you're like hyper aware, I think, of what's going on around you and what you're doing to your own body. Like what are you looking forward to for the next 3 months?
I think I'm hoping that I've ingrained some really good habits in the next few months. So I'm in this transition period. It's only been a week and a half of going into self-employment. So
that's a whole new beast.
It's a whole new beast, right? Yeah. Like I'm not on. Like my online, offline times are around the same, but I have the flexibility to at any point in the day do a workout or, you know, to walk my daughter to and from school and things like that. And so I'm hoping that I can like build in some regularity because it's going to be essential for my mental health is like, okay, I get up, I brush my teeth, I go potty, I take my vitamins, you know, like maintaining those like normal items, is going to be really important for me to not slip into like a afternoon napping habit, which is also okay. But like, as long as it's not interrupting.
Because that's kind of like, it's kind of like COVID all over again. Because now you work from home 100%. And so you have to build your own new routine from home. Like do the whole thing. I guess you didn't have to really. Yeah,
I've been working from home since COVID hit and I haven't gone back. But there is definitely more of the like, I mean, I took a whole day off last Friday to do that backpacking trip. And I didn't even give it a second thought. There was a moment there where I was like, should I check in with Bree and let her know that I'm going to be offline today? I'm like, yeah, that'd probably be the nice thing to do, but but I don't have to. And that's so bizarre.
That is a weird feeling when you're like, I can just go.
Yeah, I can just go.
Yeah.
Or like I spent a half day like just running errands. I had so many returns and like some cardboard I needed to bring to the recycling place and stuff. And I was like, I had like the absence of guilt. Like from every once in a while, I would do some of those errands on work time, right? But I'd have that like feeling of guilt.
That scared feeling.
Yeah. Like, so I'm really looking forward to building in habits and like letting go of any like guilt around that. And
good.
And going into the fall where it's not so fucking hot.
Well, I love it. What else do you guys have prepared for the Bariatric Society? Is there anything else that we don't know? Or
virtual tickets are on sale now. We still have a small handful of virtual VIP. So that's the swag bag.
Awesome.
And then with a book club, we have hit as of this month a year of the Bariatric Book Club. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is so cool. Okay.
Yeah, some awesome stuff coming up there.
How many members do you guys have?
Just under 200.
Damn.
I know.
That's
it's
a lot.
So fun. But what's great about it is we break everybody in. Well, we have a bunch of different like Zoom call times people can do because we like to keep the groups smaller than 20 is the idea for the Zoom calls. Because the bigger the group, the less conversation there is. Honestly, people get more nervous.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of great hosts on now that are doing it, and we have some great books. We have some books I'm so excited about in the lineup. We're reading Food Junkies right now, which I'm resisting the thesis so much, but it is so interesting. I feel smarter every night reading it because I'm like, I know more about the like hormones and neural pathways that our brain like reacts to because of food. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
shit.
So
I'm going to have to get that fucking book.
It's so interesting. And then next month we're reading This Is Just My Face. Oh, darn. I forgot the name of the author, but she was the actress that played Precious. In the movie Precious.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. I do not know her name.
Yeah.
I can picture her, though.
Yeah. Oh, darn it. That's so frustrating. But she had weight loss surgery. So it's her memoir. And yeah, we have a few other really good ones coming up through the end of the year. And we'll do a reread of Atomic Habits since that one was like
that was a huge hit.
That one was such a big hit.
Huge hit. Because one of my girlfriends messaged me and told me about the book you guys are reading this month.
Oh, Food Junkies.
Yeah. She's like, I got this book in the mail. One Hungry Mother's reading it. So I purchased it. And she's like, I think I'm going to like it. And I was like, all right.
I love
that's
that
awesome.
so much.
That's awesome. And now that I know it's more science-y, like that's totally my jam.
Oh, yeah. It's a doctor that wrote it. So
fuck yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stories in there about people that she's worked with, which I think makes it engaging, right? If it was just science stats, I'd be like, okay, nighttime reading will put me to sleep.
That's awesome.
But yeah, lots of fun stuff coming up.
Good. It sounds like you're a busy girl and all you're about is helping this community. So.
I love it so much.
So much. So is there anything that you think I forgot to ask that you think that you want to share? Or is there any tips that you want to give out to the other 6-monthers?
Follow me at @1_hungry_mother.
Do all those things.
Yeah. I'm posting some more like food tips. My food tips are so basic because I'm so not a cook. It's like, hi, I bought this hunk of turkey from Costco.
And now I'm eating it.
And now I slice it up and measure it and eat it. Or this morning I was like, I have this prepackaged thing of yogurt and I'm adding almonds and blueberries. It's like, but I think like, for me, seeing that stuff on other people's pages is so helpful because I'm like, oh, yeah.
That's you forget food. You can do those things.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a food item I can eat.
Yeah, because those are helpful. So don't stop doing those because they are adorable. Because we notice that people really love food recipes.
Yeah.
Like that is a jam.
It's hard to think of like the things that you can eat that are going to give you the protein that you need.
Yep.
Make you feel full, but not make you feel stuffed.
Yep.
Like that stuff's hard.
It really, really is because when you get further down the line, you stop having the protein shakes and you have to start like preparing meals for yourself or your fam bam.
And I'm weird about wanting like real whole foods as well. So like finding those items as well is a little tougher.
That's not weird.
I'm like an Oregon granola. It's not weird to you. You're an Oregon as well.
Yeah. We're used to the shit. Like my husband gardens. Like we have chickens. You guys
I'm
know.
like, Avery, go in the backyard and pick some tomatoes for dinner.
Yeah. Like we have eggs. Go get them from the chickens. We have ducks now. We're going to have duck eggs. So this is going to be fucking cool. Yeah. I'm going to like figure out some recipes to show with duck eggs.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. Well, thank you so much for coming down to the studio, hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
This was so much fun. And we're going to have some more fun because we're going to get in the pool now.
Let's go jump in the pool.
So if you guys want to see this in like right when it drops, you need to go to patreon.com/OSLP and pick the $10 tier or higher. And then you get all of the things first. And what's new to that tier is you guys get your own episodes now. So like once a week, you get your own episode and it's just for you guys. So that's what's really cool about it is that you don't just get like this one early. You'll be actually getting your own episodes now. Isn't that rad?
Yeah, that is
so
cool.
I'm super excited. So
exclusive content.
That's right. So definitely go check it out. It goes right back into the podcast, goes right back into all the equipment that we use, all the services to get the podcast out. So definitely check that out. And then, of course, our website because we got our merch. And this is definitely on the website, my hat. I fucking love this hat.
Support the content that you use.
It's so much like doing all this research has like one, it holds me accountable, but also like getting you guys the most updated information is key. So to success. All right. Well, I love you guys and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. I'm like, am I allowed to talk?